My first tip for you is interesting framing, using foreground and perspective. Instead of standing in front of a scene, I look for ways to become part of it and to take a step into it. What helps me get inside an image is using something in the foreground that's blurry and then having something in the distance that's in focus. That's going to create depth and something more dynamic instead of just having a flat image. You kind of, as the viewer, also become part of the scene. Doorways or windows, anything that could be useful as a frame. It's not just giving the depth, but it's also about having an interesting composition. It's like inviting the viewer to stand exactly where I stood. A coffee or a book, certain elements tell more of a story. Including those elements and having them layered in a photo really helps to evoke emotions. Don't be afraid to change perspectives. Crouch down, take a step aside, move closer than what usually would feel comfortable for you. The way I usually function is I see something and it moves me and it touches me and I see beauty and then I want to capture it. My tip number 2 is finding the little details and patterns. Having photos with a mixture of like close-ups and details and patterns, and then also having those vast images as well. Those ordinary moments, they really help capture the atmosphere and the essence of a place. For example, here on Mallorca, that could be like laundry hanging outside. Those little like daily life scenes will be more interesting than just having that same kind of image of an island that you've seen a million times. When you train your eye to notice the quiet things, your photos become more personal. Your travel story feels unique because nobody saw it exactly the way you saw it. There's a difference between a selfie and a self-portrait. I see a lot of people taking selfies to include themselves there, but there's more creative ways, whether that's through reflections or shadow plays, or just including your hand or your feet. There are multiple ways to tell more of a personal story. The thing I like to do most is just have myself included as a silhouette, make the story a little bit more personal, get away from like classic selfie, more to capturing your experience there. Kind of looking back at trips that I've done like 10 years ago, for example. Nowadays it's beautiful for me to see. It's a good reminder of where you've been in life. It does add something to a photo if you include yourself in like a creative way. My tip number 4 is light, planning, and timing, and light changes everything. Instead of avoiding midday and the midday light, I use it to my advantage. I use the bold shadows and the high contrasts. It can be really interesting to get creative with it. I do use an app called Solar Watch, and it's really helping me understand how the light is going to move throughout the day. It's really important to understand how high is it going to be depending on the time of the year. Sometimes the most beautiful light is there when you least expect it. The key is simply to be aware and ready. My tip number 5 is focal length and camera settings, 28mm versus 43mm. The 28mm focal length allows for a lot of room and opportunities to include things into a frame, whereas 43mm is more or less equivalent to the natural eye. For me, it's very intuitive to shoot with a 43mm lens. There's advantages to both lenses. I think there's no right or wrong. I wish I could just shoot everything with a Q. It's the Q specifically. For me, it helps me to easily adjust aperture and speed in such a fast and natural way that I always shoot manually. You can either use it as a point-and-shoot camera, or you can set everything to manual. It becomes so much like an extension of yourself.